Man of God, let me ask you something very important. Do you want a wife who feels supported, or do you want a wife who feels like she has to fight life all by herself? Because here's the truth that most men don't realize: a supported wife becomes a stronger wife. A supported wife builds a stronger family, and a stronger family builds a stronger legacy. Today, I'm going to show you how to support your wife in achieving her goals. Yes, I said I'm going to show you how to best support your wife in achieving her goals, whether they're personal, professional, spiritual, or all three. And yes, this is biblical. And yes, this is practical. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, God never designed marriage to be a solo mission. Let me say it again. God never designed marriage to be a solo mission. Ecclesiastes 4:9 says this, that two are better than one. Let me say it again, that two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. Marriage is not you chasing your purpose while she is figuring things out. Marriage is this: marriage is two people building one kingdom assignment together. And Proverbs 31 shows us something very powerful that women was, that women are entrepreneurial, they are strategic, they are trusted, they are supported. Verse 11 says this: her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. So, what does that mean? That means that he trusted her leadership, he supported her calling, he didn't compete with her, he covered her. Men, it is so very important for us to be there for our wives. Our wives do so much for our families. They raise our children. They're there. They support us. They are, what's that saying? Behind every great man is a strong woman, a woman. Our wife is there for us so many times. They take care of us when we're sick. How many of us men, when we get sick, we act like completely babies. We're helpless, and our wife is there to help us through this. So, what your wife's goals and endeavors are in life, we have an obligation to be there for her. First off, is we need to believe in her out loud. Believe in her out loud, not silently, not I thought it in my head, but out loud, because confidence grows in environments of belief. So you have to believe in your wife out loud. Your wife needs to hear things like, babe, I believe in you. I believe in you. You're built for this. God put that in you for a reason. And fellas, sometimes she doesn't need solutions. Let me say it again. I know that my wife, sometimes she just needs me to listen. It's very hard because I am solution oriented. I want to fix everything. Every time our wives come to us, we want to do what? We want to jump out there and fix the problem for us. Sometimes she doesn't need solutions. Sometimes she just needs, hey, I see you. I'm proud of you. And yes, sometimes the most spiritual thing that you can say is, how can I help? Let me share this with you. Recently, my wife is in a middle of a project right now. And at times she's found it difficult to complete or to push through. And so she sets her own goals, and sometimes she gets distracted, with our newborn or just life. And so I have found that when she works on her project and afterwards, or even during, I say, you know what? I'm very proud of you. I see what you're doing. I believe God is very happy with what you're doing. You would just think my wife won the Stanley Cup or she just won the Super Bowl. Just the smile on her face that she's so excited to hear those words. When was the last time that you told your wife that you're proud of her? You're proud of her for what she's doing, what she accomplished. Maybe it's in the home. Maybe your wife accomplished something in the home and you just simply want to say, you know what, I'm proud of you for that. It could be something small. What about on her job? She goes to work. She has a big success. When have you said, you know what, babe, I'm proud of you. I see you. That is amazing. Or even, how can I help? Back to my wife's project. Recently, she kind of hit like a stopping point where it was like not a stopping point, but just she hit kind of like a brick wall. She kind of couldn't get over this hurdle she was on. And so I simply said to her, you know what? Hey, how can I help? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, tell me a little bit about where you are. And so she told me. And I said, well, how about this? How about instead of trying to move this big mountain that we're ultimately looking at, or you may be looking at, how about let's just take it piece by piece at a time. Let's start here and let's go this. And you know what? Hey, literally, let me hold your hand. Let me walk you over to your computer and let me plug in a couple things and help get you started. My wife was so grateful. After about 10 minutes of her working through that, she started working on her own. And she went from sitting and not wanting to move or even being stuck to running full speed and excited about it. That's about helping our wives. That's how we show our wives that we're there, we're supporting them. And how can we help them? How can we help nudge them, walk with them, pull them to where they want to be? And it's not in a forceful effort, like get out there and do this project or let me pull you into this. No, it's about looking at what their hopes and dreams are and where they want to be and how is it that you can help get them there. Second point is remove pressure where you can. Remove pressure where you can. Here's another thing. My wife was feeling all of this pressure in her project. Like the project had to be like monumental, award winning. And I believe that she will get there. This is her first time in such a project. And so it's more important for her to finish because God has called her to do this. It's more important for her to finish and do her best. So by telling her, you know what, you don't have to have this monumental award winning project. You simply have to be obedient to God and give God your best, and He'll be pleased. That was removing so much pressure from her and from the situation. Because if your wife is chasing a goal, here's what you can ask. What can I carry so that you can run? Your wife's chasing a goal and she's feeling all this burden on top of her. What can I carry so that you can run? Because if you can take some things off of her plate, she can run a lot better. That might mean taking the kids for a few hours or handling dinner tonight or cleaning the kitchen up so she doesn't have to, or running some errands to free up some time for her. Because listen, support is not always motivational speeches. Trust me, I know this. I know this from experience. You can't always just think you can come into a situation and give your wife a motivational speech and that is going to help. No. Not you can't think that you can. We call them motivational speeches, but ultimately we're preaching at our wives all the time and you cannot do that. No, motivational speech here and there. However, Sometimes support looks a whole lot different. Support looks like doing the dishes without announcing it, like you just parted the Red Sea. I know that I have a tendency to do this. I'll do the dishes and then I'll be like, hey, just want to let you know the dishes are in the dishwasher. All you have to do is start it up. I didn't have to do that. I'm working on that. Okay. You don't have to make this big grand announcement to the world like, hey, I took the clothes from the washer and put them in the dryer. No, she'll find out. You know, you don't have to make this big grand announcement. Trust me, I do that. I'm guilty of doing that. I'm sure you all have done that as well. So it's not about that. Next part is this: protect your wife mentally and emotionally. Genesis shows Adam was placed in the garden to work it and protect it. Protection is not just physical. It's guarding her peace. It's guarding her time. It's guarding her confidence. Let me share this with you. When my wife was pregnant last year with our son, she was focusing on the pregnancy. And so what it meant was I was very protective of the environments that she was in, meaning not that she's out at the bar or anything. No, nothing like that. But if she was potentially in situations where someone could upset her, I would intervene very quickly. If she was on the phone talking to someone, usually like some type of, I don't know, like a doctor's office or something like that, where you have to um, clear up bills or something like that. And some people on the phone, they're very rude. And so I would listen to my wife in the conversation, and then it would get to a point where I would see how she was getting upset mentally. And it would be not mad, just sad. And I would quickly, babe, let me have the phone. And I would take care of that. It was about guarding her peace, guarding her time, guarding her confidence. Once our son was born, everyone wanted to come over to the house. Everyone wanted to call. Everyone wanted to text. And my wife just mentally couldn't take it because she had a newborn to take care of, our first child ever. So she had him to take care of. And so her peace was very important. Her time was so very important. And so I had to guard that. And we told everybody, if you and if you need to talk to Allie, just send me a text. Because you text her, you might not get an answer for a couple weeks. This was guarding her time. If your wife shares a dream with you, do not be the first voice of doubt. Too many times we do this with our spouse, we do this with our children, we do this with our coworkers, we do this with people in ministry. They share a dream, they share a thought, and we're quick to say, nope, can't do that. Nope, it won't work. Why? What gives us the right to do that? You know, I call that person a killjoy. You're killing somebody's joy. Somebody has some joy, some excitement in them. And you want to be that voice of doubt. You know, your wife is sharing with you because she trusts you, because she loves you. And when you put her down, when you knock down her ideas, yeah, sometimes she might come out with some crazy ideas. Like she'll be like, hey, in the wintertime, let's come up with let's create an ice cream truck that also serves hot chocolate. Not the smartest thing to do. So it might be some silly ideas, some ideas out there that you know won't work. However, you can't be that guy who's always smacking ideas down. Be the voice that says, you know what? If God put it in you, let's figure out how to build it. And if God put the idea in your wife to start an ice cream truck that only operates in the wintertime and it sells ice cream and hot chocolate, then let me tell you this. You better pray and you better figure out how to get that ice cream truck built. Do not be that person with that voice of doubt, especially if it's the first time she's shared. My wife will wake up in the morning and at night, God speaks to her and she'll write down ideas. And as soon as she gets up in the morning, she's excited to share it with me. And if I'm right there waiting to say, nope, that's not going to work, after a while, she's going to be feeling down. She's not going to want to share with me. Don't be that person. Okay. Same thing goes for your kids. Do not be killing and crushing dreams because you never know who they will grow up to be. Next is this. Make her goals family goals. Make her goals family goals. This is where marriages level up. Instead of her thing and my thing, it becomes our mission. Here's an example. We produced, in the last 4 or 5 years, we produced 2 Christian gospel plays. And first it started out as my thing, and my wife came on board, and it became our mission. It became our ministry. And that's how things should be. It should not be, this is my thing and this is her thing. Bring it together. It's your mission. Ask the question, what does success look like for you? How does this help our family in the long term? How can I help build the structure around this? Because when your wife feels like my husband is with me, she becomes unstoppable. Let me say it again. Once your wife feels that you are with her, she will become unstoppable. How often have you had an idea and no one else that you shared it with, your best friend, your coworker, whoever, no one believed in you, but your wife said, babe, you can do this. You felt unstoppable. You felt really supported. So think back to all the times that your wife has tirelessly supported you, supported your ideas. Don't you think it's time to make sure that you're pouring into her and that you are supporting her as well? Let me be honest with you. Sometimes supporting your wife means you are holding a ring light. Sometimes supporting your wife means you're watching YouTube tutorials. Supporting your wife means Googling stuff you never thought you would Google. Yes. That's what supporting could mean sometimes. It could mean packing up the car every weekend full of whatever your wife wants to sell at the local bazaar. That could be what supporting looks like. And I know you're sitting there thinking, Lord, I just wanted to watch the game. But then you see her light up. You see her light up because you have been there to support her. And you realize this is bigger than comfort. This is true legacy building. You're not giving a motivational speech. You're supporting by your actions. Finally, man, I want to tell you this, that we have got to be praying for your wife's goals like they're your own. James 5:16 talks about the power of prayer. Pray over her confidence. Pray her opportunities. Pray over her opportunities. Pray over her strength. Pray over her protection. There is something powerful when a wife knows my husband covers me spiritually. That's what we should be doing, praying over our wives, praying over everything that's going on in her life. Let her know that you are there and you support her wholeheartedly, that you are going to go and petition heaven on her behalf for the endeavors that are on and in her heart that God called her to do. Pray over opportunities, pray over strength, pray over protection, pray over her success. Pray, what can you do to support her? We all have strengths and weaknesses, something associated with her project or her dream or her goal. Maybe a weakness of hers, it may be a strength to you. Pray, God, tell me what to do so that I can help my wife be the best that you have called her to be. Men, tonight, ask your wife one question. What's one goal you're working towards? And how can I support you better? Then just listen. Just listen and let her share. Listen, not to respond, not to fix, but to understand. To understand what she wants, what she's looking for. Because here's the thing, kingdom men. You don't just lead your families. You build environments where your wife, where your children, where they flourish. And that's a very important assignment that we as men have in our families' lives. Man of God, if you're committed to being the kind of husband who builds, supports, and leads with strength and love, right now, I want you to type in the comments, we win together. And if this helped you, first of all, I want you to subscribe and then share it with another man that you know who wants to lead his family as well. Man of God, it is so vital that you support your wife and be there for her goals, her dreams, her gifting. Don't let these things die inside of her, but be the man that God called you to be, to support her wholeheartedly. Man of God, thanks for watching. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.